On today's emission, the refugee crisis, conflicts and challenges that refugees face while arriving to the Mexican country. We, Mexicans, often see people asking for money in the streets or near the railways, and most of the times, these are people coming from Central America. But have you ever thought of what their stories are? What have they gone through? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself if they are migrants or refugees? On today's emission, we will analyze the perspective of people that unfortunately are living those type of situations.
Migrants and refugees are not the same thing. Refugees are running away because something that can harm them because of some persecution, because their life has been threatened.
To have a better perspective of this issue, we will listen to the perspective of how a refugee is coming from other places treated in Mexico. Here's what Naomi Cianchi, a Venezuelan refugee, told us.
¿Cómo nos tratan en los refugios de México? Bueno, según personas que viven en Ciudad de México, allá son muy amables, pero mi experiencia aquí en Querétaro son muy groseros. O sea, casi no te informan. De hecho, las chicas de cuando uno entra en migración son muy groseras. Y el licenciado que te ayuda en el refugio también es muy grosero, que se llama Daniel, licenciado Daniel. Es alguien que como que trata de varias maneras de que no pidas refugio, no sé por qué. Me imagino como porque hay mucha gente y no quiere que más nadie pida refugio, y de hecho él, aparte que me ha tratado a mí, ha tratado a otras personas porque he hablado con otras personas. Nos ha tratado de como de mentirosos, de que solo aprovechamos la situación. O sea, aquí en Querétaro es así, es como que solo se aprovechan los venezolanos y son muy flojos y tal. Eso es lo malo aquí en Querétaro. En México sí me han contado que son más amables.
There are people right now, well, such as me, I'm a migrant. I'm not a refugee, but there's a lot of people running away from my country, from Venezuela, that are refugees because they have been threatened in some way, because they cannot have medicines, that they cannot access to basic human resources such as water, such as light, electric services, such as food. And my country is it's not in a good place, in a good situation, but I didn't came here as a refugee, but I came here because of the same things uh, that a refugee can come to Mexico.
To close this first part of the podcast, we have a very important person that looks for the well-being of this type of people. Here we have Antonio Sabre, the main coordinator of UNHCR, United Nations High Commissioner for the Refugees, and he will tell us a little bit about the way refugees are seen in Mexico. Here's what Antonio said.
The thing here is that there are two types of people. The ones that prefer not to take refugees into account and don't even stop to understand them. And the one that just feel uncomfortable with the presence and are rude with them, no matter where are they from. It is true that refugees coming from other countries are not usually asking for money in streets, because what UNHCR does is to help them move on facing crisis in their country. But the problem is when they don't know what to do or where to ask for help, they end up in the streets. That's why UNHCR looks to inform to all the ones that need help that we're the ones that are willing to save them.
Perfect. Moving on to the next element discussed in this podcast, we'll listen to the answers to a very common question regarding global issues. Is this issue government's responsibility? A regular citizen would say yes, but let's listen to the answers of our today's experts.
Well, I think that the government has a role in this because it's not a normal situation. I mean, migration is a normal thing. Since the beginning of the history of since the beginning of history, there has been migration. But right now, there now exists the state, the image of the state, And right now, Mexico it's not prepared to receive um, 40,000 refugees per year or more. Um, but of course, it's a thing that has to be seen, that has to be people have to see that it's a situation going on in the neighbor countries.
Pues yo siento que sí deberían intervenir en el sentido de que, bueno, como hace la ACNUR, de que ve a quién ayudar y ve a quién no ayudar, porque si dejan que entre así a lo loco, sí puede haber un problema en el país, pues.
I honestly don't like this question because I think that global issues are always government's responsibilities. That's why I entered to work here. We cannot wait for governors to take tough decisions because they have shown not all of the time that they make the correct ones. That's what UNHCR is making. We're not waiting for somebody to act. We are actually acting on it.
Now, is Mexico a well-receiving country as other countries?
Well, as a migrant, I consider that Mexico, it's sometimes it's half and half. As my experience, as I said before, Mexico have been treating me with respect, with kindness, with warmness, such as all my family and such as all my friends that are coming that are here from Venezuela. But it's not the same with the Central Americans, people from Honduras, from Guatemala, and from El Salvador.
This is what a migrant said, but let's hear what Antonio has to say to us about the same issue.
This question might be a little tricky because, of course, the culture among different countries change depending on the region, or the refugees, etc. But comparing Mexico and other Latin American countries, Mexico is one of the countries that receives the biggest amount of refugees. And fortunately, the UNHCR has made the effort to help almost all of the refugees that have asked for help.
Just to finish, and as a conclusion, we have the answers to what are the main challenges refugees face while arriving to Mexico, and what would be the main reasons about this. Let's hear what our experts say.
Bueno, como por lo de ACNUR me he dado cuenta que un 60% de la gente es indiferente a lo que está pasando y hay mucha xenofobia y piensan por qué no se devuelven a su país, y siento que es algo hipócrita porque si ellos mismos pasaran la frontera con Estados Unidos se sentirían súper mal, o son de las mismas personas que odian a Trump y dicen por qué Trump nos hace eso, pero dicen los mismos comentarios xenófobos hacia las personas que están entrando a México.
It's a strange situation because people say that refugees or migrants are here to steal the locals' work or the locals' fortune, but it's not like that. It's just normal people that wants to live their lives with other opportunities. And I think that most of the people, well, in my experience, most of the people are very nice to foreigners here in Mexico. Most of them. I have not seen really an ugly situation, and I haven't been in an ugly situation since I'm here. I think that people here are very open, are very nice, and are very are very warm with people from the outside.
I guess it is simple. People don't know about them. When they arrive, citizens assume they are migrants looking for money, and usually they would tend to be rude to them. That's the biggest challenge for refugees and also for Mexico as a society. People prefer to assume things and make use of prejudice about them than actually empathize and empathize with the situation that they are escaping from their countries.
So, here it is, people. And it's not my opinion the one that matters. It's the one that people that are actually involved in this issue. There isn't a single global issue that it's easy for people to solve. Of course, different perspectives and cultural traditions interfere in the solving of these issues. But the most important thing here is to listen to the people suffering directly or indirectly this problem. We let the experts tell us what they think. That they have stated. We have let the experts tell us what they think. Now it's your time to do so. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.